today's video, I'm going to talk about how to light with the sun and how to do it with a pro. And the reason I'm doing this is because recently I had to shoot a project that was, I think, 80 or 90% just lit with natural light. So I figured it would be a good way for me to teach you that even with all the skills I have right now and the access to resources I have, sometimes the only resource you will have is the sun. Let's start with tip number one, which is positioning. You want to understand the direction of the sunlight and use it to your advantage. Pay attention to the angle and direction of the sunlight in relation to your subject and camera. Make sure to experiment with different angles and see what works best for you. But a little cheat code, you usually just want a backlight or side light. The reason you want to shoot during golden hour is because the sun is the lowest to the ground. It has a very nice warm and soft lighting quality, and it honestly just looks really well. And not to mention, if you shoot for sunrise, it'll force you to wake up early and fix your sleep schedule. Tip number three is using diffusion. You want to make sure you have some form of diffusion, whether it's a silk, a scrim gym, or even just a cloth from Walmart or Dollarama, just something that'll help you diffuse the light on your subject. Tip number four is using a reflector, and this is when you want more light into the scene. And you can use whatever you want, a 5-in-1 reflector, a balance board, or even just a simple styrofoam. All you need is something that'll help bounce light back into your scene and help balance the shadows from the highlights. And now we're all the way on to tip number five, which is backlighting. The one thing to look at when doing this technique is sun flares. So make sure you're either repositioning yourself to make sure they aren't there, or using a matte box. Or if you want sun flares, go crazy and shoot right into the sun. The key thing I want you to take away from this is experimenting and seeing what works best for you and what doesn't. And I also push you to shoot a project mainly dependent on natural light so you can see how it works and improve your skills as a cinematographer.